And jury selection in the Ahmaud Arbery case began Monday. Already, the presiding judge is expressing frustration. On Tuesday, the slow pace of jury selection forced the judge to send a pool of 20 potential jurors home. 12 jurors and 4 alternates again are needed for this trial. However, the questioning of jury pool members is taking a long time. The challenge is finding people who can be impartial, like we mentioned, because this case has just gotten so much national media attention. So does speed matter when it comes to seating a jury? To give Midday Jolt viewers some perspective on why jury selection is so important is Danielle Cohen Higgins. She's a Miami-Dade County Commissioner and a trial attorney with the Cohen Law Firm. Commissioner Higgins, thank you so much for joining us here at the Midday Jolt.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Can you help us break this down? Jury selection can make or break a case. Why is the jury selection taking so long right now?
Jury selection can not only make or break a case, some trial lawyers would argue that it's the most important part of the case, right? Because the 12 jurors that are impaneled will be the 12 individuals, men and women, black and white, that will determine the outcome of the fate of these defendants. So this is arguably the most important part of the trial. And this is challenging for this court and Judge Walmsley because of not only the media attention that this case has received, but also because of the issues related to this case. This case obviously involves racial implications and a lot of implications regarding civil rights. And so people have very strong feelings about these issues, especially during a global health crisis where people have been locked up and cooped up and, focusing on social media and the television. People's emotions are amplified about these issues, and for good reason, especially in the wake of George Floyd. So it's not just the national media attention, it's the issues specific to this case. It's going to be a challenge to pick these 12 jurors, but the time has to be allotted in order for the process to take the time that it needs.
Commissioner, what kind of issues might qualify or disqualify a potential juror from being seated?
Listen, if someone comes forward and says, listen, irrespective of whatever evidence you present to me, I am convinced that these defendants were simply engaged in a citizen's arrest, and you're not going to tell me or show me any evidence that's going to discourage me or dissuade me to think otherwise. You're not going to sit on this jury, right? On the flip side, if you say, no matter what you tell me, believe that these men went after this man and they are murderers and they intended to kill him for racial reasons, you're not going to sit on this jury, right? The charge of any juror is to be able to be impartial, to be able to view the evidence as it's presented in the courtroom, not on social media, not on a news channel, but as the judge and the jurors and the lawyers presented in the courtroom. That is the only evidence that they are allowed to take into consideration. And any juror that says, I can't do that for whatever reason, religious, spiritual, my personal beliefs, are not going to be able to sit on this jury.
Now, of course, this footage was huge for, the national news. Do you think this footage is actually affecting this whole process?
I think it's affecting the process because we live in a day and age where everything is captured on video, right? If this case were tried 10 years ago, it would be a very different scenario. Would there be as much media attention? I would argue that it would not, because there wouldn't likely be a video capturing the entirety of the death of this young man. And so because we have this video footage that was blasted all over our televisions, it's going to be difficult to find a juror that hasn't seen what happened on February 23rd, 2020. It's going to be very difficult. I don't believe that's going to be the standard that these jurors are going to be charged with. It's going to be, you've seen the video, but can you put it to the side and instead pay attention only to the evidence that is presented to you in this particular court of law?
Yeah, a lot taking place in this process. Danielle Cohen Higgins, thank you so much for this perspective here on the Midday Jolt. We appreciate it.